Yo, what's going on YouTube? Here are my top 5 recommendations to complete the latest Emblem event in Pokemon TCG Pocket. Now, I actually waited to complete the event myself before uploading a video because I just wanted to see what the meta was like in the actual event, what people are playing, and the decks that worked for me and what didn't. So I ended up doing this on stream. It took me 5 hours to get this done, which is a great sample size to get this event completed and out of the way. Now, at the beginning of the stream, I was actually going to beat the event with a different deck every single game, and I actually went 4-0 until my phone bricked up on the last game and I actually lost. Yeah, it's my phone's fault, not me. It is what it is. But anyway, while playing for 5 hours, I got to see the most common decks, and I'm going to tell you right now, you will see a lot of Pikachu if you haven't already. You'll see a lot of Mewtwo, and you'll see a lot of Starmie Articuno. Yeah, no shocker there, no surprises there. But with that being said, I'm going to give you the first deck that I think is perfect for this event. It's what I actually used. I had to go full degenerate mode, and I actually played double Articuno with 18 supporter cards. Yeah, I'm not proud, but at the time when I did this, it was 4 AM and I was doing a challenge where I said, I'm not going to end my stream until I beat the event, and it was 4 AM or 3 AM or something like that, and I had to be up early and I wanted to go to bed. So I said, guys, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to Misty coin flip this shit, and I'm going to have to play double Articuno. And hey, it worked out. It is what it is. With this deck, you're guaranteeing the EX Articuno card right from the get-go. You're coming in hot. In 2 turns, you're doing 40 damage. In 3 turns, you're doing 80 damage and 10 on the back line. If you're lucky and you roll into a fire deck, you do have the upper hand here, which is really nice because the Blaine deck is going to be very popular. The Charizard Arcanine Moltres deck is also very popular. I ran into it a lot. So naturally, water is very good. But the problem with playing water is you will also run into electric decks a lot as well, which is going to be my second recommendation to you. Pikachu EX. Everyone knows about this deck. You know it, I know it. You've played against it. I've played against it. Everyone has played against it. I even played it myself. I tried to make it work. And I got, I think, 3 or 4-0, and then I lost, and then I got bored of playing it. I personally don't enjoy playing that deck very much. It's a bit boring. It's a bit boring. It is for me, but if you enjoy it, that's great. But it's also a great way to get your 5 wins because, hey, it sets up early. You just need 3 electric cards on the bench, and you have your EX Pikachu up front, hitting for 90 damage every single turn with 2 energy, or 110 if you're against a very, very common water-type deck, being the Starmie Articuno deck, which is actually the third deck I'm going to recommend you. Now, this is also another deck I've seen a lot. I saw Starmie with any other combination of water type Pokemon more than anything. The great thing about Starmie is that it has no retreat cost. It has 130 health and hits for 90 damage for 2 energy costs. It's actually a better Pikachu if you think about it. It has 10 more health, no retreat cost, and only needs 2 energy. I mean, great. The only difference is you need to evolve it, but that's okay because it's up there. You can get it. You can bring it out whenever you want. It's doing damage. You can combo this card with Blastoise, any water combination you want. You're going to do amazing. So that deck was also very common and gave me a lot of problems as well. Mainly because I was also trying to run the Charizard Arcanine and Moltres deck, which is also the 4th deck I'm going to recommend you, which is a very consistent deck. The idea behind the Moltres, Charizard, and Arcanine deck is that you will be running Moltres up front and using Inferno Dance, and every time you land heads, you get a fire energy that you can discharge to your backbench any way you like. So ideally, what you're gonna do is you're gonna have this tanky fire Pokemon, Moltres, which is actually not weak to water, it's weak to electric types, and you will farm fire energy for your potential Charizard EX or your Arcanine EX, which kind of gives you that early game damage if you need be. Only needs 3 energy to set up, only 1 evolution, and you can get it going much faster. Charizard eats 2 energy every time it does its big attack. Crimson Storm, he is fire energy hungry, so you kind of want to get that going, but in the meantime, you can get the Arcanine going early if you do pull him. Great deck. Amazing deck. And now the final deck I'm going to recommend you is actually the Mewtwo God of War deck. It's just consistent. It's great. You'll see it a lot, like so much. But you see it a lot for a reason, because it's good. 150 damage every turn if you get the God of War setup. Great. 150 health on a basic Pokemon. Very tanky. You have 2 of these going. You're going to be switching back and forth. You have a God of War in the back line setting up energy for you. Great. If you don't know how this deck works, you're basically setting up your God of War on the back line while you're hitting for 50 damage with Side Drive on Mewtwo, pressuring the enemy team while you're setting up your big damage attacks. Now, keep in mind, Mewtwo's main attack does 150 damage every turn, but like Charizard, it uses 2 energy every time you use it. So that's where the Gardevoir comes in play and gives you an extra energy every single turn. So you should be able to hit this every single turn if you have your Gardevoir set up. Now, those are the top 5 most consistent decks, I think, if you want to get those 5 wins. Of course, you can do this with any deck you want. The best way to do this event is to have fun and play what you want. I ran so many different decks and I got wins. I ran the decks on my YouTube channel. I ran the Dragonite Wigglytuff deck. I ran the Venusaur Butterfree deck. I had success with every single deck. We tried a bunch of different stuff out, but in the end, I did actually have to meta slave it and degenerate the event. It is what it is. Hey. A win's a win, right? Now I'm going to give you 2 more decks that you can run to play as counters as well as early game hitters if you think you're going to run into Mewtwo EX or Pikachu EX, and these decks are great. The first deck I'm going to give you is the Pikachu EX counter, and that is actually going to be Promo Mankey, Primeape, and Machamp EX. Now, the reason I'm recommending you Machamp EX instead of Marowak EX, because Marowak EX is very coin flippy and Machamp is just consistent. You'll do bonus 20 damage to all electric type Pokemon, and you will hit very hard very early on. In 2 rounds, you will one-shot any. Another option to counter the Pikachu deck is actually the Charizard Moltres Arcanine deck, which I recommended earlier, because Arcanine will one-shot any Pikachu you will run into. But you do need to get them set up with free fire energy and de-evolution. Now, the next final deck I'm going to recommend you to beat those Mewtwo Gardevoirs is actually Weezing, Arbok, and Wigglytuff. I have a video about this deck on my YouTube channel if you want to see a more in-depth guide on it. So basically, you'll be playing a dark type deck, you will be stalling a lot, you will be poisoning your enemies, putting them to bed, and you won't let them retreat with Arbok. Now, this deck is great. Arbok is a menace. He will do 60 damage every turn, or 80 in this case, and they won't be able to retreat. So those Pokemon will be stuck. Now, the only problem with this deck is, which is why I didn't put it in my top 5, is that it is not really damage intensive. It does not do that much damage. This deck kind of makes your opponents suffer, so maybe you'll make them FF, but I doubt that will happen because everyone's trying to get those 5 wins. But it's a really fun deck and it's great into Mewtwo Gardevoir, of course. Now, the biggest damage dealer in this deck is actually the Wigglytuff EX for 80, but you do put them to sleep, so you will need 2 turns to take out any Mewtwo. Now, the only problem with this is that it's quite coin flippy. You do need to land the heads for it to be super effective. Otherwise, Wigglytuff EX only has 140 health and you will get one-shot by the Mewtwo. So, you kind of want to actually fight the Mewtwo with the Arbok. But hey, that's not always your choice, is it? It's a very RNG intensive game. With that said, these are all of my favorite decks that I would run in this event today if you want quick and easy wins, consistent wins to get the new juicy emblem. Good luck and I hope you get your emblems. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.